Welcome to this short course on building resilience. From time to time, we all face problems or hardships in our lives. The death of a loved one, the loss of a job, serious illness, or other traumatic events are all challenges with the potential to overwhelm our ability to cope. Most of the time, we're able to make it through, either on our own or with the support of those around us. But building resilience is about more than just coping. While developing the ability to cope with stress is very important, resilience moves beyond coping and involves growing stronger with each challenge or hardship we face. But what is resilience and how can you build it? According to the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress, such as family and relationship problems, serious health problems, or workplace and financial stressors. It means bouncing back from difficult experiences. Research has shown that resilience is ordinary, not extraordinary. People commonly demonstrate resilience. One example is the response of many Americans to the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks and individuals' efforts to rebuild their lives. Being resilient does not mean that a person doesn't experience difficulty or distress. Emotional pain and sadness are common in people who have suffered major adversity and trauma in their lives. In fact, the road to resilience may involve considerable emotional distress. But resilience is not something that you either have or don't have. Resilience is about the way you approach situations and can be strengthened in the same way as you strengthen your muscles, through repetition and practice. And while resilience can sometimes seem difficult to define in words, it is a quality that is usually easy to identify. While no two people are exactly the same, most people who are highly resilient have developed several important personal qualities. They routinely look for opportunities in any problems that may arise. They generally have a positive can-do attitude. They fight the victim mentality and see themselves as survivors. They're able to draw on their internal resources in challenging situations. They're confident in their ability to overcome difficulties, and they learn from their mistakes. Take a moment to think of any people you may know or have heard about that possess some of these qualities. How have they demonstrated resilience in their lives? Was there ever a time that you noticed any of these same qualities in yourself? Developing resilience is a personal journey. People do not all react the same to stressful life events. An approach to building resilience that works for one person might not work for another. People use varying strategies. Some variation may reflect cultural differences. A person's culture might have an impact on how he or she communicates feelings and deals with adversity. For example, whether and how a person connects with significant others, including extended family members and other resources. Some or many of the following 10 ways to build resilience may be appropriate to consider in developing your own personal strategy. Make connections. Good relationships with close family members, friends, and others are important. Accepting help and support from those who care about you and will listen to you strengthens resilience. Some people find that being active in civic groups, faith-based organizations, or other local groups provides social support and can help with reclaiming hope. Assisting others in their time of need also can benefit the helper. Avoid seeing crises as insurmountable problems. You can't change the fact that highly stressful events happen, but you can change how you interpret and respond to these events. Try looking beyond the present to how future circumstances may be a little better. Note any subtle ways in which you might already feel somewhat better as you deal with difficult situations. Accept that change is a part of living. Certain goals may no longer be attainable as a result of adverse situations. Accepting circumstances that cannot be changed can help you focus on circumstances that you can alter. Move toward your goals. Develop some realistic goals. Do something regularly, even if it seems like a small accomplishment, that enables you to move toward your goals. Instead of focusing on tasks that seem unachievable, ask yourself, what's one thing I know I can accomplish today that helps me move in the direction I want to go? Take decisive actions. Act on adverse situations as much as you can. Take action rather than detaching completely from problems and stresses and wishing they would just go away. Look for opportunities for self-discovery. People often learn something about themselves and may find that they have grown in some respect as a result of their struggle with loss. Many people who have experienced tragedies and hardships have reported better relationships, a greater sense of strength even while feeling vulnerable, increased sense of self-worth, a more developed spirituality, and heightened appreciation for life. Nurture a positive view of yourself. Developing confidence in your ability to solve problems and trusting your instincts helps build resilience. Keep things in perspective. Even when facing very painful events, try to consider the stressful situation in a broader context and keep a long-term perspective. Avoid blowing the event out of proportion. Maintain a hopeful outlook. An optimistic outlook enables you to expect that good things will happen in your life. Try visualizing what you want, rather than worrying about what you fear. Take care of yourself. Pay attention to your own needs and feelings. Engage in activities that you enjoy and find relaxing. Exercise regularly. Taking care of yourself helps to keep your mind and body primed to deal with situations that require resilience. Additional ways of strengthening resilience may also be helpful. For example, some people write about their deepest thoughts and feelings related to trauma or other stressful events in their life. Meditation and spiritual practices help some people build connections and restore hope. The key is to identify ways that are likely to work well for you as part of your own personal strategy for fostering resilience. Focusing on past experiences and sources of personal strength can help you learn about what strategies for building resilience might work for you. By exploring answers to the following questions about yourself and your reactions to challenging life events, you may discover how you can respond effectively to difficult situations in your life. Consider the following. What kinds of events have been most stressful for you? How have those events typically affected you? Have you found it helpful to think of important people in your life when distressed? Who have you reached out to for support in working through a traumatic or stressful experience? What have you learned about yourself and your interactions with others during difficult times? Has it been helpful for you to assist someone else going through a similar experience? Have you been able to overcome obstacles, and if so, how? And what has helped make you feel more hopeful about the future? Resilience involves maintaining flexibility and balance in your life as you deal with stressful circumstances and traumatic events. This happens in several ways, including letting yourself experience strong emotions and also realizing when you may need to avoid experiencing them at times in order to continue functioning. Stepping forward and taking action to deal with your problems and meet the demands of daily living, and also stepping back to rest and re-energize yourself. Spending time with loved ones to gain support and encouragement, and also nurturing yourself. Relying on others and also relying on yourself. To help summarize several of the main points in this training, think of resilience as similar to taking a raft trip down a river. On a river, you may encounter rapids, turns, slow water, and shallows. As in life, the changes you experience affect you differently along the way. In traveling the river, it helps to have knowledge about it and past experience in dealing with it. Your journey should be guided by a plan, a strategy that you consider likely to work well for you. Perseverance and trust in your ability to work your way around boulders and other obstacles are important. You can gain courage and insight by successfully navigating your way through white water. Trusted companions who accompany you on the journey can be especially helpful for dealing with rapids, upstream currents, and other difficult stretches of the river. You can climb out to rest alongside the river, but to get to the end of your journey, you need to get back in the raft and continue. Thank you for watching this short lesson on the topic of building resilience. If you would like to print a certification of completion, please follow the instructions.